Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes an absolute massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 34 of Imperium, and we also get some more of the ruined Factorium scenery set, which is pretty damn cool. Of course, it has its own rules, so if you are going to be utilising it in your games, make sure you have a rule sheet out for the scenery, because it has, it has its own rules. It can be used to defend, you can be used to kind of balance, put models on the top, on roofs, and on parts of the platforms and stuff like that, just like you could with the Azurite ruins in good old Age of Sigmar and so on. So really cool stuff. So yeah, very handy to have. Pretty damn cool. It's quite a chunky set as well. Definitely worth painting up. If you are going to paint it, I would recommend spray painting it. Brush painting it will be a pain in the backside, but in all honesty, if you have the time, you have the space, you have a bit of cash, get yourself some spray paint. And you can get some from places like B&M Bargains, Halfords, anywhere like that. Majority of spray paint will do exactly the same job, and give it a good spray. You can do it while it's on the sprue, you can do it while it's not on the sprue, entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it. Spray it all over and then use your paints to do all the details, like for instance all the different parts of like the rivets, the doors and stuff like that, and you'll get a very nice even looking coat of paint out of it, which is the main thing. There are other things that you can do with it, so you can grime it up with some washes, so like Agrax Earthshade or Norn Oil. You can even use Basilicum Grey if you have got the contrast paint. Very handy to have, and yeah, you can get some really cool looking scenery out of it, so definitely worth a crack at doing that. But yeah, really good stuff. Into the issue itself, we are greeted by the Legio Cybernetica. So, when the vast and ancient automatons of the Legio Cybernetica go to war, the ground shakes with the thunderous stamping of their robotic feet. The air is then filled with the tech priests' praise, glorifying the Omnissiah from rasping voxes. So amongst the largest and most impressive robots in the Legio Cybernetica's arsenal are the Castellan robots. Each is an unliving giant, assigned a specific task in combat by its tech priest master. These mighty constructs have fought mankind's enemies since the very dawn of the Imperium, and many Forge Worlds claim to have examples that have served them for millennia before this. So, Castellan robots are these giant robots which are pretty damn cool, I must admit. They are one of the nicest looking Adeptus Mechanicus units that you can get out there, in my personal opinion. I absolutely love them. They are one of the kits that I do want to get, although I'm not a big Adeptus Mechanicus fan, and once this magazine is done, I will probably, for 40k, I will probably stick with Adeptus Sororitas, just because I like the look of them more than anything, and from reading up some of the play styles that and battle reports from them before, they seem to perform better from what I can tell in a lot of ways. So definitely one, but you know, really cool stuff. On the other page, of course, we do have more information about them, so including the cybernetic datasmiths. So these are specialist rank of tech priest that program the robots of the Legio Cybernetica. They are expected to undertake this task even during the most furious of fighting. The battle protocols of each robot can only be changed by inserting Doctrina wafers, fusions of biomatter and electronics that are even rarer than the robots themselves, into a data slot hidden behind its chest plate. So, not only can they only take one protocol at a time, which seems a bit weird for a futuristic robot, you can only change them by essentially getting in front of it, opening its chest plate, and then inserting a new doctrine. Sounds a bit backwards, in all opinion, but obviously it works for the Adeptus Mechanicus, and they've been doing it for a long time with it, so it is the way it is. So, really cool stuff, and yeah. The biggest downside, of course, though, is if the Datasmith is slain, or the wafer is damaged, Yeah, Vatcastle and Robots protocols may become locked forever, which is not a good thing. So, you know, they could end up just walking off the edge of the map and never stopping, really, which would be quite hilarious. On to the next page, though, of course, we are greeted by the Imperial Fists. So these are defenders of Terra. The Imperial Fists have stood as steadfast defenders of the Imperium since the Great Crusade. They are the Emperor's shield, indomitable and unbreakable. The Primarch of the Imperial Fist was Rogol Dawn, and from him stems the chapter's proud history and traditions. Their talent for siegecraft stood out, though they achieved victories in all manners of warfare. The Emperor declared Dawn and his Legio to be the Praetorians and tasked them with defending the Sol system. Though they were broken down into chapters during the second founding, the Imperial Fists have been known as the Defenders of Terra ever since the Emperor's proclamation. So, the Imperial Fists, if you are unaware, are the yellow armoured Space Marines with that red trim and the pretty damn cool iconography in the bottom there that you can see, which is their fist that looks like a gauntleted hand, essentially curled up into a fist over a white circle in yellow, which is really cool. And they are a pretty damn cool looking unit as well, and they have been around for a long time. So they also utilise the Phalanx, which is a spacefaring fortress older than the Imperium itself. It is the fortress monastery of the Imperial Fists and was once commanded by Rogol Dawn, the chapter's missing Primarch. So, though many of the Phalanx's systems have fallen into disrepair since its glory days, it remains a powerful symbol of Terra's might and has earned the Imperium many victories with its overwhelming firepower. So, a spacefaring fortress, the Phalanx, is pretty damn cool, and, you know, there's a lot to it as well. It has its own impressive firepower arrays, which has been utilised in many wars, and they have kind of turned the tide of victory quite regularly as well. But yeah, really cool stuff. And it's always nice to have a bit more lore, and you also got to find out a bit more about their being siegecraft, which is their kind of main speciality as well, just here as well from them, which is pretty damn good as well. Then you got your how to build the Ruined Factorium. It's dead simple, you're not going to go wrong with it, I imagine. You will have some mould lines to remove, which, you know, use a sharp knife or a mould line remover if you have one, and away you go. But dead simple, you can't, as I say, you just can't kind of go wrong with it. You shouldn't be able to go wrong with it anyway. But yeah, really good stuff. You got your how to paint section. My personal opinion, as I say, spray paint it. Don't brush paint it. If you brush paint it, you have a chance of leaving it streaky. It's going to use a lot of paint because it's quite a large surface area, and it might not get the desired result. Spray paint is the way forward. It is far easier for large surface areas to do it one shade and then utilise all your other bits and pieces over the top, and using your washes make everything look a lot better and a lot darker, and kind of gets into all them creases, gives it a lot of depth. And then if you want to, you can dry brush over the top of it. You do not necessarily have to. If you wanted to, you could leave it and kind of leave it that very dark colour. If you wanted to, it wouldn't matter too much. Entirely up to you though. But either way, have fun painting it. That's the main thing. So very simple. You're not going to need any help with painting it, I would imagine. Then we've got some data sheets though. We have a Primaris Captain, which was the exclusive mini that we got from issue 5. So the updated data sheet for him, and the full data sheet should I say, which is of course giving him all the rules, including his frag grenade, crack grenade, mastercrafted power sword, in his plasma pistols, as well as all his rules, and how to utilise all his rules to their main effect, and utilise them in battles. Then we have extension of the core rules, so page 5 essentially for it all, so all to do with transports and the advanced rules behind them, as well as including aircraft, which you do have aircraft in 40k if you want to use it. So you have a vast array of different aircraft you could use, whether it is the good old Archaeopters from the Adeptus Mechanicus range, whether you want to use any of the vast aircraft that you can get with Space Marines, or even any of the Necron aircraft as well. And of course the other factions have their own aircraft, whether it's Dakka jets and anything like that, so you can use them if you want to. But really cool stuff. We also get information about the psychic phase, which is essentially your kind of psychos ability and everything like that, which of course is all stemmed from warp and everything like that, so it is all very kind of your magic essentially in a way. But yeah, really cool stuff. And then we have our mission for this week, which is behind enemy lines, and it is a sabotage one. It is all about going with your Necron Overlord, 10 Necron warriors and 5 immortals against your Primaris captain, and 2 squads of 5 assault intercessors, so 10 assault intercessors in total. Lay out your battlefield. You have quite large deployment areas for both factions, and your objective is, in all honesty, if you are the Space Marines, you must set your explosive charges and drive away any Necron defenders, and the Overlord's forces will fight to hold their position and foil the Imperium's plans. But yeah, really good stuff, and pretty good fun. It should be a nice little battle to do and enjoyable at the same time. Now, this issue is not filled with a lot of lore, in all honesty. There is literally just them 2 pages, and then it goes into mostly rules and stuff like that, so yeah, it is what it is. But moving on to next week though, we have our Tech Priest Engine Seer, which is a pretty damn cool model, and really nice as well. And of course you get more information about the Age of Darkness. We also get information about the Doctrina Imperatives as well as some of those faction rules. Issue 36 is our first major flying unit, which is the Necron Tombblade. So we have had flyers before, including the good old Spider and the good old Technomancer, I think it was, one of the 2. But yeah, they are flyers as well, but this is one of our first dedicated flyers, to be quite precise. And we'll get data sheets on them, and we'll have new rules for them, and yeah, pretty cool stuff. And it's something different as well to paint up, which is always really nice. And that's it from me, in all honesty. Very quick one. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.